Welcome to our final youth worship of General Assembly. I'm so grateful to all of you for taking some time to watch this worship. Although we aren't gathered together over Zoom at this current moment, thank you for your presence and thoughtfulness this past week.
And the biggest thank you to the rest of GA Youth staff and the YA at GA team for their time and dedication to this faith and to this event. This wouldn't be possible without all of you.
Our chalice today is lit for you. May the warmth of this flame stretch across the world and give you strength and courage to move forward into better days. My name is Molly Gottfried. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Senior Youth Worship Coordinator from Corvallis, Oregon, located on Kalapuya land.
And my name is Ellie Ferris, and I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Junior Youth Worship Coordinator at this year's General Assembly. I am from Melrose, Massachusetts, which is right outside Boston, and I am currently residing on Massachusetts and Wampanoag land.
Our final worship of the Circle Around worship series is centered around the theme of courage. What does it mean to have courage? How do we stay courageous even when it's hard? These are some of the questions that we'll be thinking about and answering in today's service.
To start the worship portion of this worship, I have prepared a reflection for all of you on the theme of courage. As a Unitarian Universalist, I have learned many lessons. Number one, very possibly the most important one, is to care for other people as you wish to be cared for. It is so important to make sure that everyone in your community is cared for at all times. Especially during COVID, it is so vital that people take each other's well-being into consideration and watch out for one another. I feel so grateful to be a part of a community that prioritizes this. The UU community is one unlike any other that I've ever been a part of, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I always try to make the world and spaces I am in better than they were before I got there, and I believe that this value was instilled in me by my UU faith. I see people who I look up to and admire that go out and do their best to make sure people feel better about themselves and to instill the values of social and community justice in those that they meet. The majority of these people are UUs, and I could not be luckier to have people like them in my life to look up to. I believe that is nothing short of an act of courage to go out into the world and do your best to try to make it better. Throughout my time as a UU, I cannot count on one hand or 1,000 the amount of people that I have met who are willing to put their reputations on the line to make sure that they stick up for what is right. Every day, I feel so grateful to be a UU because I have not met one person who is a part of this faith who is not dedicated to it and spreading its messages. The people who I sit with in pews every Sunday before COVID, they were hardworking people who were always respectful of everyone they met. And I believe that I would not be the person that I am today if it were not for their influence. So that is why I thank you all especially for coming to join together in community to make sure that we spread these values and keep them alive, even if we have to do it online. Thank you very much.
When I started kindergarten at my first public school, I had no understanding of race or ethnicity. I had no idea that I was different in any way from everyone around me. One day, when I was eating lunch with my new friends in the cafeteria, an older girl came up to our group and asked if I spoke English. She asked me where I was from, and when I said the name of our town, she said, "No, like where are you from?" Just like that, at age 6, I started to become acutely aware of how people perceived me, solely based on what I looked like. I learned how to answer questions from people who blatantly asked, "Who are you?" Not meaning, "What are you?" Not meaning, "Who are you?" but "What are you made of?" In 5th grade, we were doing an art project when someone asked me to pass them the crayon next to me. "Which one?" I asked. The skin-colored one, they responded. It was a light cream-colored crayon that looked nothing like my skin color, but everything like theirs. Every time somebody would ask for the skin-colored crayon, I would want to disappear, hoping that no one would say anything, because the last thing that a fifth grader wants is to be different. In sixth grade, a substitute teacher told me that I should spell my name correctly if I wanted people to pronounce it right. During my freshman year of high school, I sat in class while someone mocked an Indian accent right in front of me, feeling so alone. I've now graduated from high school, and I unfortunately have a billion more stories like those. I'll admit that over the past couple of years, I have often found myself wishing that I had been more courageous or that I could have stood up for myself. I wished that I had had the courage to tell people off or brush off their jokes. I wished that they didn't have such an impact on me, but they did. Their words bruised my soul and tampered with the confidence that I'm still working to rebuild. Finally, after years of hating myself and wanting to disappear, I've begun to learn that simply surviving is courageous. Real courage is discovered in the daily choices we make. So to keep moving forward when the world around you is screaming at you to change or be something else is a brave act of resistance and tenacity. Internal courage is just as impressive and important as the typical things that you think of when you hear the word courage. Loving yourself when those around you don't see the beauty in your being is courageous. Moving away from a relationship that isn't serving you is courageous. Starting something new and not knowing where it will take you is courage. Leaving yourself open to failure is courage. Spirit of life and love, help us find the courage to continue. Help us find the courage to love and heal. Let us find peace and have the power to begin again each day with everything we already have inside of us.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. The silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. for that we have each other. And we will rise, we will rise, we will rise. Oh, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up. I like the waves. We'll rise up in spite of the ache. We'll rise up and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
The following prayer is from Aurora Levins Morales, a Puerto Rican and Jewish disabled and chronically ill, community-supported writer, historian, artist, and activist. In this piece, she writes, "Say these words when you lie down and when you rise up, when you go out and when you return. In times of mourning and in times of joy, inscribe them on your doorposts, embroider them on your garments, tattoo them on your shoulders, teach them to your children, your neighbors, your enemies, recite them in your sleep, here in the cruel shadow of empire. Another world is possible."
Lean with all your being towards that day when the poor of the world shake down a rain of good fortune out of the heavy clouds, and justice rolls down like waters. Defend the world in which we live as if it were your child. It is your child. Defend it as if it were your lover. It is your lover. When you inhale and when you exhale, breathe the possibility of another world into the 37.2 trillion cells of your body until it shines with hope. Then imagine more.
Don't waver. Don't let despair sink its sharp teeth into the throat with which you sing. Escalate your dreams, make them burn so fiercely that you can follow them down any dark alleyway of history and not lose your way. Make them burn clear as a starry drinking gourd over the grim fog of exhaustion and keep walking. Hold hands, share water, keep imagining, so that we and the children of our children's children may live.
It is quite difficult to sum up how much this time together has meant to us, Molly and I. We are so lucky to be able to gather together in this way during such a difficult time in our world's history. We hope you take away valuable lessons from these worships, and that you are able to translate the wisdom which you have gained today and on the other 2 days into your lives. May you be blessed as you move forward.